Sometimes a project just needs the right raw materials to get started, and this is just such a project, although the raw materials are a little unusual. I managed to pick up this sweet looking old Huffy bike at a thrift store. Someone had just destroyed it with purple and green paint. It's kind of rusty and beat up, but the price was right, just $6.99. Actually, I got it cheaper than that because it was on sale. It's just what I need for what I have in mind today. Picasso has a piece of art that I have seen and really like. It's called Bull's Head. Now, in order to recreate that, I need a couple pieces from this donor bike. I need the seat, easy enough to remove with just an adjustable wrench, and I also need the handlebars. Take a good look at these handlebars. They are covered in sticky old black duct tape. I don't know how long this bike had been sitting around, but that duct tape became a real pain for me later on. Now this bike is old and rusty, but I wanted to kind of play around and get an idea of how these pieces would fit together. If you're familiar with Bull's Head, you kind of know what this is going to look like. If not, you'll get a chance to see it in just a second. I'm kind of trying to visualize it here myself. As I went through this, I kind of attacked it in a couple different ways. I wasn't sure exactly what parts and pieces I was going to need, but luckily the stem and the handlebars fit nicely into the seat bracket. This kind of gives you an idea of what the finished product is going to wind up looking like after a lot more work. Now the duct tape was just a mess. I tried a lot of ways to get this off. My first method of attack was to go after it with a razor knife. That did not work. Okay, I'm not going to show you everything I did to get all that sticky duct tape off of those handlebars. That's because it involved flames and a lot of solvent. And really, if you try to recreate this project, you're probably not going to run into a situation where you need to peel all that duct tape off, so we'll just skip it. Next, more flames. Once I got the handlebars all cleaned up and stripped down to bare metal, I realized the angle that they were pointing at wasn't quite right. I wanted to mess with it a little bit. So I got out my propane torch and heated up the metal. It took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to get it hot enough to bend, but it was easy enough to fix with the torch. Don't worry, I'm not working on my workbench here. I'm actually working on an old pallet, so I'm not really that concerned if it catches on fire just a little bit. Heat it up nice and hot, and I'm finally able to muscle this and bend it. I've got an old ratchet handle that fit inside the handlebars nicely and gives me a little bit more leverage here. The sander does pretty good work cleaning away the discoloration and getting it back down to the bare metal so it all looks nice and uniform. And because it's bare metal, I hit it with a little bit of clear coat to make sure that it didn't rust. Okay, after several failed attempts to figure out how I'm going to mount the Bull's Head to a piece of wood so I can put it on the wall, including making some templates and cutting some pieces out of wood, I've come up with a different solution. I slept on it last night. I've decided to get rid of messing with wood, and I'm going to use instead black pipe, 3/4 inch black pipe. The stem will fit in there pretty nicely. I actually started with 1/2 inch pipe at the wall. That's a floor flange there that's 1/2 inch, and it steps up to 3/4 inch where it goes into the handlebar stem. I took the pieces with me to the store, figured out exactly what I needed, picked up all the right pieces, then promptly forgot exactly how it went together. And then my camera goblins ate the part where I actually got it figured out. So I'll show it to you here in a minute once it's all put together. And it's mounted now to my work surface, and that last little bit of threaded 3/4 inch pipe I want to trim off so it fits together a little more nicely. The angle grinder leaves a sharp edge on that. I don't want to cut myself, so I used a file to clean it all up. Now, getting this all together is kind of a tight fit, but basically what is happening here, the stem from the handlebars goes through the seat mount, and then it goes into the 3/4 inch pipe there at the end of the wall mount. It only goes together one particular way to where everything will fit, and you kind of have to wrestle it together. Tightening up the seat mount nice and tight made it hold on to the stem for the handlebars really well, but there was one more critical connection. That's between the end of the stem and the 3/4 inch pipe there. So I just drilled a hole and popped the machine screw through it, and everything held quite nicely. There were a lot of false starts in this project and some problems I ran into, especially the duct tape that was all over the handlebars. Reimagining how I was going to attach this to the wall was a big pain, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's got a very cool kind of industrial recycled look, and I've got just the place for it inside. More projects coming when I get a chance. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments.